supper and a mother at the best place around. Some stupid with a flare gun burned the place to the ground. Smoke on the water, fire in the sky. Smoke on the water. Burned down the gambling house. It died with an awful sound. Funky and Claude was running in and out, pulling kids out of the ground. But when it all was over, we had to find another place. Swiss time was running out. It seemed that we would lose the race. Smoke on the water, fire in the sky. Smoke on the water.
You wanna know what goes on backstage? Oh, come on. Let me take you by the hand. Ow!
Rudy, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen,
The way I see it, Barry, this should be a very dynamite show.
You know, I have no idea what the name of this program is, but you're watching it.
Backstage,
All you ever want,
backstage,
all you ever need.
backstage.
Your dreams will be fulfilled once you are there, you'll never wanna leave. You wanna sell your ass for that backstage pass. Backstage is just for the invited. Backstage, they've laid on everything.
Hello, this is Rudy from my new little studio on tour in Spain, and I welcome you to a special edition of my streaming Rudy Backstage. Today there's two things. I'm on the one hand talking about my dear friend Peter Freestone, who recently had birthday, and then I'm also talking about ABBA a little bit because that was in my German speaking TV version of Rudy Backstage, and had great sort of interest, and therefore I thought I'd do an English summary of what I did. And let me just do one thing here. I'm on my own today because we have internet problems, and therefore I'm hoping again I'm doing everything right. So let me double check if we are recording. Oops, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Where is I don't see it. Down here. Okay. I'm sorry, but you remember I did one, and then because with these glasses they are for the distance, I can't see the little numbers. Anyway, so first of all, Peter Freestone. I posted quite a few of the many photos that are between of him and me. We were thinking of how long we are friends when I was sitting on his couch in the Czech Republic, and then he was sitting on my couch in Vienna, and we came to the conclusion that we know each other since 1985. When I was doing the finishing touches of my actually first official Queen video as a director, One Vision, The last shot had to be done in London, although the video actually was filmed in Munich in the Musicland studio. And after that, we went to Freddie's flat, the Freddie apartment. And that's where we met the first time. So quite a long time, 1985, you know, and we always had contact with each other. Also in years where, you know, he was not so close to Queen, or I was not so close to Queen. And we share a very, very special relationship and friendship, and I'm very thankful. And I want to say here with, dear Peter, I love you to death. And especially in the pandemic year, I mean, which is now already 2 years ago, the first pandemic year, we're still in the pandemic. We almost talked on the phone every day. And even these days, when he's busy or I'm busy, we talk, you know, once, twice, 3 times a week, depending on our schedules. And the great thing about our relationship and the great thing about Peter, first of all, I do not remember that we ever had an argument. You know, which is very, very rare if people, you know, we were in very, you know, special situations, let's put it that way, you know. There was alcohol involved, there was parties, there were other things involved. So, you know, usually that's really possible that, you know, sooner or later you have an argument or even a fight, or you say bad things to each other because, you know, one person might be drunk or high or whatever. Never happened. To me, he is a great gentleman, and I always try also to be a gentleman. And the two of us have a great deal of respect for each other. I really respect what he did for Freddie, and you have to ask him about what he thinks about me. I don't want to. I mean, he said it in interviews many times, but still. I mean, we did so many interviews and projects together. You can see it on the, just a little bit of the photos that I have. It's hundreds of photos, and it goes back to the 80s of the previous century. You know, there were situations in the house in Garden Lodge very often where one of the people, and I'm not naming names, was not so super friendly to me, because I was always obviously somebody who's coming in, even being from the inner circle when, you know, they had whatever, you know, dinner or lunch or what have you. And so one of the other persons I remember that, you know, they were not so super happy, but Peter always stayed friendly. And this respect goes on until today, and I'm very, very thankful. We have we did a lot of projects together over the years, especially also in the last 2 years. Don't forget, we did. Peter was part of my COVID film called I Am Positive. He was one of the important, where Elton John and Michael Caine and other people were participating, and Academy Award winners, etc. Then he was in my talk show twice in Austria for Krone TV. Then we also he was obviously, you know, executive producer of my latest Freddie Mercury documentary, The Munich Years, which in German was called Der echte Freddie Mercury, die Münchenjahre, which I think is a quite, there's a lot of footage that we filmed, which is not in the film, actually. I'm gonna post a few of those outtakes just for you Queenies to have something special. That was not in the film, although most of you haven't even seen the film because it was only shown in the German country so far. But that also brought us together, because we had a lot of, and also brought us new ideas of what we can do together in the future. Because we were sitting in various places, but most of the time in the Deutsche Eiche, famous and lovely Dietmar Holzapfel, the owner, where we were talking and filmed this talking with multi-camera. And when you then forget that you're recording something, it's then two friends talking, and that I think you see in the quality of those talks. And so I'm very, very happy with that. And as I said, we have plans in the future. I'm also in touch with Milan, his manager and friend, who gave him this lovely piano. And I'm looking forward to new adventures. Hopefully, when the traveling is easier, we'll also be on various places around the world. Peter Freestone is a very underestimated person in the Queen history. For the inner circle and for insiders and members of what I call the Queen family, they all know what he did. And don't forget, he's actually the last remaining still alive member of this team that was in Garden Lodge, consisting of Freddie, his husband Jim Hutton, and Joe Fornelli, and Peter. Three of them are already in heaven. And Peter will be, I think he will become 200 years or something like that. I'm sure. I told him everything under 100 years is a disappointment. So if he, so I want to have many, many, many more years with my dear friend Peter Freestone, and many, many adventures and many projects and many, signs of friendship. I mean, sometimes we also talk and there is no recording or nothing, being recorded, and it's so great to remember together the fabulous times we had with a very special person called Freddie Mercury that we both could call our friend, and it was a privilege. And we talk about a lot of things. We talk about opera, we talk about, Montserrat Caballé, we talk about his contributions. I mean, Peter was in, I think he said the other day that it was his first ever filmed interview, which was from my documentary series, Queen Magic Years. And he said that a lot of, he was then asked to do interviews after that. That was the first one. He said, I wasn't aware of that. But of course, he was also in, The Untold Story. He was also in The Queen Phenomenon. He was in Champions of the World. And he was always, helping and contributing. That's why I took him this time and gave him this credit, which he gladly accepted, of being the executive producer of my film, The Munich Years, because he was doing a lot of things in the background and sort of, not from me, but from other people, maybe sometimes was not, people could have thanked him more, let's put it that way. So a birthday is obviously also a day when you are sort of looking back and looking ahead, and it was difficult times, and we both agreed today when we spoke on the phone that it's gonna be better in the next, and has to turn better, but we don't know. We are still in the middle of a pandemic, and which implicates a lot of problems for a lot of people, health-wise, being close to dying, but also in jobs and problems with jobs and finances and what have you. That's all something which is, after all, very difficult. Now, Peter, I hope I've praised you enough about the new projects. Again, we said that we wait until it's actually happening. I made already some hints here and there. So I'm in Spain, and I'm in a new location now. Than when I did the other few Rudy Backstage. Again, we have internet and Wi-Fi problems, so the problem with uploading, I don't know exactly, to be honest, when this program is going to be on my YouTube channel. It's always on the YouTube channel Rudy TV. As a premiere, but I will let you know if it should not make it up to Sunday. And then it's always also on the Insta, which is Rudy_Dolezal. And then, as you might know, there's also a Rudy Dolezal official on Facebook. Excerpts of this you can also see on Twitter and on TikTok. It's a nice group and of people that are in the meantime watching this all over the world. I want to thank all the fans and the followers and the friends who are loyal, and that means a lot to me. Thank you very, very much. You might recognize that this is a little bit like the Rudy from Miami, because I need light and I need sun, not to lay on the beach. That's actually something I don't really like. Yeah. But when it's light, I have a lot of energy, and when it's dark, like it is in winter in Europe, then the energy goes down very quickly. So I'm feeling very similar to the Miami years when, you know, this unfortunate pandemic started, but I developed the Rudy Backstage, if you remember, with a lot of playing around with teasers and trailers and what have you. I might do this again. And I might experience and explore some new locations. I'm not sure yet. My programs on Corona TV obviously continue. I have pre-recorded quite a lot of them, some of which I did in Munich. Dietmar Holzapfel, which I just mentioned, the owner of the Deutsche Eiche, is one of my guests in my talk show On the Road. And the other one is Herbie from the Munich Rock Museum. And he's doing, on the one hand, a Queen exhibition in March, where he asked me to write the preface or the foreword. And both of them are initiators for a Freddie Mercury statue in Munich. I said this again, but there is online, go to the Rock Museum Munich, and you can support the petition that a statue of Freddie Mercury is raised in Munich, which I think is a very good idea, and I'm supporting it against the mayor of Munich, etc., and giving my face to promote it. I have recorded also a Rudy Backstage in the Rock Museum, which unfortunately has to close. And the March exhibition will be somewhere different. But I sort of made some historic last filmings with Herbie. And I did also the Rudy Backstage about the Rocky Horror Picture Show, because the show comes to Vienna in February. I've actually recorded my TV shows for Krone TV until the beginning of February. So I'm not sure when I'm returning to Munich and Vienna. I don't know if I mentioned already, I also have a place in Munich now. So Munich, Vienna are my two bases in Central Europe. I was always hoping that traveling gets easier because, so I can visit my friends in the UK, but it doesn't look like it. But I'm having great new plans, and I will sort of one after the other. I had to move also because the where I was staying was awful. Yeah, I have to say, and I'm now at a really nice place. And again, I mean, I remember that I was also in Miami, the owner of the first apartment that I rented was in the end a very unfriendly person, and yeah, somebody I don't want to talk about actually. But here I'm very happy, and let's see how the things develop. I'm pretty active. I'm online again, as I was in Miami. I will also go back to the US, yeah, soon, because I'm having a project with ABC New York on those guys here, the Rolling Stones. By the way, if you don't have this Rolling Stone special edition, that's the German one. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's a very, very good Rolling Stone special edition. There's also a vinyl single on it, which is worth collecting. So I also promised you to talk a little bit about ABBA, because I did a TV show, my German edition of Backstage, and I had so much reaction because I thought, okay, yeah, but I mean, they have now something out. Of course, they have the first album in almost 40 years, 40. And to be honest, when I was young, ABBA was not a cool band. It was like, you know, I mean, yes, but everybody, I know, maybe it's a generation thing, yeah, knows one or two or three melodies of, you know, money, 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 or gimme, 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 and da 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 da, or yeah, or you know, so it stays in your ear. I think they were in my youth, they were underestimated. I mean, they're one of the big numbers. They're one of the most successful, one of the few most successful bands. I mean, they're up there with the Beatles and Queen and a few others in terms of sales. Yeah, although they didn't do anything for almost 40 years. Of course, there's a musical, there's movies, etc., etc. We know the you know the trick, and they have, of course, earned millions and millions. But the thing is, when I learned to know that Voyage, the new album, is out, I was very skeptical, to be honest. It is, I mean, the album is what ABBA fans expect. And I think it doesn't really thrill me. Sorry, dear ABBA fans, but I never was an ABBA fan. But I think it's good for the real ABBA fans, because they are getting sort of what they're expecting, and the you know, the legend goes on. But what I really find interesting, and where there is a connection between ABBA and Queen, is their you know, virtual concert experience that they are planning. And hopefully it happens as planned this year. It's just a Corona question. In London, as far as I know, a special place was built. And you know, they have these sensors, like you have it on when you play FIFA, the you know, the soccer. When my boys play the soccer games online, or video games, it's the same kind of system. They recorded their moves and everything, but they will do it with avatars of their younger selves. And that's a super cool idea. And I tell you, I feel this in my heart, because this technology is out already for quite some time. If Freddie Mercury was still alive, Queen would have been the first ones to do this as a concert experience. Avatars of the younger selves. He would have loved that idea. I'm sure, absolutely sure. And the thing is, all the credits to ABBA. Bravo that they do it. But I say, if Freddie was alive, he would have been, yeah, let's do this, da, 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 yeah. Rudy, or whoever, or David Mallet, or you know, whatever, you know, or Kevin Taylor, and he would have developed something, I'm sure, because that's super cool. The movements are from them today, and it's with avatars, it's images of their younger selves. Because I remember when I when I directed the video The Miracle in London with the boys, you know, which is one of the good ones I did. There's people who say all of them were good, but I personally have obviously favorites. It's one of my favorites. When Freddie saw them perform the first time, with all the costumes and how we did the stage and mini version and everything, he said, "Oh, great! We send them on tour, and we don't have to go on tour again." So he was even thinking then, and we're talking, 89 or something. So he would have taken every chance or any chance to develop something technically with technology to do that, and then you would probably have a Queen special, I don't know, multimedia thing on tour already for years. But it's ABBA who did it, and all my respect, chapeau, goes to ABBA. I think that's something that's really gonna be interesting, and of course I'm gonna go there and watch it, and even not being an ABBA fan. Okay, darlings, this is again a special version of Rudy Backstage. As you might realize, I'm probably more relaxed. I'm more in the talking mode. But, when I have a lot of stress, I still always tried that almost every week we do a Rudy Backstage now. It's almost 100 times. We're close to, for the streaming, for the original, English streaming, which I started actually in a hotel room in Munich. But number 2, then from number 2 on, it was from my office in Miami. Then it was from my office and for various places in Miami and on tour and what have you, in Vienna. But when I'm stressed, I'm not so much in the talking mode. Here, I'm looking out, I see the ocean. Great. Darlings, please stay safe. This is not over yet, although some people say Omicron is light version, etc. Please, we are not there yet. Let's hope it's getting better, but I have very, very good connections to excellent doctors and scientists because of my film that I did last year. So even outside, I'm wearing a mask. If people come too close, try to be 2 meters away from each other. If people are sitting on a table and you don't know if they have tested PCR, tested the same day, be careful and have distance. I can only repeat and repeat and repeat this. Remember what I said 2 years ago? It's not gonna be over soon. Well, I hate that I was wrong, that I was right, and I would have wished that I'm wrong, because we all would like to have this behind us. I say thank you to all of you. Please, my 3 wishes. Please pre-order my book. We're in the final stages. Then please subscribe free of charge my YouTube channel, Rudy TV, and then of course, never, please never miss a Rudy Backstage. I love you all, and I thank you for the power that the loyal fans give me to carry on what I'm doing, and you will see it's all gonna be good. I love you. Love and respect.
You wanna know what goes on backstage? Oh, come on. Let me take you by the hand. Ow!
Rudy, are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen.
The way I see it, Barry, this should be a very dynamite show.
I have no idea what the name of this program is, but you're watching it.
Backstage. All you ever want. Backstage. All you ever need. Backstage. Your dreams will be fulfilled once you are there. You'll never wanna leave. You wanna sell your ass for that just for the invited.